Hey guys, this is Cam for 15. I am back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with another episode review of The Flash Season 7. This is episode 10 review, and yeah, let's get into it because I thought this episode was okay for what I just thought was just a pretty average episode. If I'm being honest, I'm kind of not feeling this now that I'm not kind of feeling this Force's storyline. Like, it was intriguing at first, and then now it's kind of like, okay, yeah. I think we're getting close to the end of this storyline. I hope the freaking second half of the Flash season 7 is much better than this first half. Not to say that it's been good or it's been bad, but it's just been it's all right, you know, and stuff like that. But anyways, like I said, this is Flash Season 7, Episode 10. We start the episode where we last left off at the cliffhanger where Nora was confronting Dion. And when it looks like Nora's going to kill Dion, actually, no. Nora essentially gets Dion, or I guess you can say persuades Dion to work with her to get revenge on what they quote-unquote call their father, Barry Allen, which... I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of sick and tired of these Forces characters just calling Barry and Iris mother, father, or how Psych and Alexa called each other sister or brother or some shit like that. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. I don't like it. I really don't. It's weird. It's just weird. Like, my goodness, it's just weird verbiage. Anyways, we cut over after that scene. We cut over to this very wealthy household of this guy named Caleb Fairweather, who then we see Psych show up and start giving him nightmares. Now, when Barry and even Iris go to investigate the scene, they find out that this dude's been going, or find out that other wealthy people have been taken out and stuff like that. So obviously they're gonna use what is it? And they're like, these wealthy people are like used to be in like a high school club or something like that from what I remember. And they just have to look for the next people who Psych is going to target. Now, going on to the Joe West storyline of the episode, which was kind of the smallest storyline in this episode, is the fact that one, we find out Kramer is still in Central City, and I'm like, this bitch is still here. Okay, great. And essentially, it's just like upholding the justice of why metas are still terrorizing the city. She brings up like some people who we see in the past, like Patty Spivot, Julian, and I forgot the last person. And she mentions how all of them are like left Central City except Barry Allen and stuff like that. So she essentially asked Joe, like, yo, can you get Barry so I can talk to him and stuff like that. Now, speaking of what Barry's doing, he is also trying to train Alexa to master her strength force powers and stuff like that. So that's kind of the thing going on in this episode. Now, when Iris and her group go find one of the members of that high school group, they run into the girl named Naomi, and Psych eventually shows up. One, we find out Psych's name is Bashir, and essentially, you know, the reason why he's going after them is because he's been abandoned. He was abandoned by his friends, and then he was abandoned by his parents as well, even his adoptive parents too. So yeah. Now, as it's showing up, Barry manages to get Iris and the others to safety, but then there's like these whole tentacle type of things Barry explains that attacks him from Psych. So obviously Psych is getting stronger and stuff like that. Now, in order to hurry up and try to defeat Psych, Barry kind of tries to make Alexa essentially be like, look, we need to get your, you know, strength force powers to go. And they go by the way of forcing it out of her. It doesn't work because Fuerza goes out of control. She hits Cisco really freaking hard. Don't know how doesn't have like broken bones or anything, but okay. Yeah, logic says otherwise. Essentially because of it, it pisses off Alexa. she plans on leaving, but then Caitlin is like, listen, you know, here, take this, and gives her like the not the meta dampener, the whole psychic thing where you can talk, where Caitlin used to talk to Frost. She explains to Alexa how she did it with Killer Frost and everything. And that's when you get the whole typical speech by Barry saying, oh, I'm sorry for making you do something, making you rush to do something that you should have not done. I should have taken this, you know, slow term approach. And I'm like, dude, you could have just do this and stuff like that instead of being like an absolute a-hole and being a D, and stuff like that. And it's funny. And Caitlin did have a nice conversation saying, she's like, bruh, you know, Thawne, who's your hated enemy, freaking literally waited all this time to train you. You're telling me you can't do that yourself, and stuff like that. Again, you know, what is it? You know, listen, the whole thing with Barry being so antsy about getting stuff done, it's like, it's getting to the point where it's like, it's starting to get annoying. I'm like, dude, why are you rushing so much to get this done? I'm like, you're coming across more like a D than honestly a good dude, but okay, yeah. Now, Joe's searching around CCPD, and then we find out that there are some weapons with the Metacure bullets in them. With bullets with the Metacure. Joe's seeing this, Kramer sees this, and Joe's like, you can't do this. This is illegal. But Kramer's like, well, yes, I can, because I got the okay from obviously the judge and the council and, you know, the governor, essentially, Central City. And this kind of turns Joe off this episode, and he's like, this is not how we're supposed to be handled things here. And essentially Kramer's like, well, this is how we're handling things now, you know? And it's like, well, it seems like Kramer didn't learn a damn lesson what Joe said to her last week after we thought she was gonna be gone. Anyways, we'll get on. We'll get on. Going on, as I was saying, Cisco's kind of dealing with the whole thing about leaving Central City and stuff like that, and we actually finally find out what his fear was from the one episode when Psych first appeared, and we find out his worst nightmare was that he was still working at Star Labs 40 years later after everyone's moved on with their life and stuff like that. And essentially, Justice, Cisco wants to do something else with his life, something else with his, you know, his talents, you could say, than just working at Star Labs for probably the rest of his life. And again, I don't blame him. Sometimes you just need a new fresh air, new change of scenery. Again, this is starting off, obviously, the Carlos Valdez arc of eventually leaving the show for good, since they already confirmed it and stuff like that. Now, Psych appears before this guy named Lucas, and essentially Alexa with Barry, they go in to try to stop Psych. Eventually what happens is when Barry's kind of, you know, all sorts of, you know, trapped with the tentacles, until we find out that other than the one girl in the group, all the other people in Von Shear's group, Psych's group, his former friend group, they tried to actively go out and try to help him, create a cause to help him and support him. The only one that actually dipped and bailed on him was that one. I got that girl, which, oh man, good thing I have my water, huh? But as I was saying, yeah, talk about a friend of yours when that friend just bailed on for her own selfish desires anyways. So, good God, man. Let me just say, let me turn off my dang thing. I'm getting freaking stuff like that. Anyways, and, you know, Barry tries to convince him to stand down, but he's not working. Eventually, Alexa, you know, controls for where they're using the device, and essentially, you know, manages to get Psych to join them, and eventually by that time, Psych is joining the team. So this is another villain that they talk down here. And I can guarantee you, not a lot of people who watch the show like that. So I'm just hoping in the back half of the season, if they have these villains, hopefully they take them out and put them in jail. not like the whole let's talk him down, guys, and you can do this for good. You can use your powers for good. Please, I'm getting sick and tired of the talking down good bad guy stuff. It's starting to get annoying at this point in time. So yeah. Now, we get a funny scene. Anyways, after they get back to the obviously Star Labs and stuff like that, somewhat give Barry Iris to talk to Psych and Alexa alone. Cisco, we see Cisco get a message from Argus, so I don't know what that's about. I didn't see the name on it, but Cisco gets a message from Argus. Then we come over to Kramer and Joe, and essentially Kramer walks into Joe's office, and Joe's like, well, if you want to handle things your own way, look, that's the way you handle yourself as a officer. But I know my morals, and I don't want to be with those morals and stuff like that. So he literally grabs his bags in his box, and he walks out, and Joe quits the CCPD and quits being the captain of the Central City Police Force. And I was like, what the hell? Now, the question is, will he get it back? Who knows? It's gonna be very interesting to see where Joe's story is gonna take him. It's funny enough because even though I didn't make a review this week, I don't know if I'm gonna make a review this week. Sophie did the same thing in Batwoman, if you guys didn't know. She quit the Crows because unworthy justice or something like that. And Joe saw what Kramer's doing as an unworthy way of carrying out justice and stuff like that. So he quits, and I was shocked. Now the other shocking cliffhanger, what the F scene that happened at the end was Dion and Nora show up in Star Labs, and we're presumed to see that because what Dion does is he freezes time, and essentially Nora strikes the lightning bolts, and we're led to believe that Iris, Alexa, and Bonshir, Psych all died. And Nora's like, sorry, Barry Allen, but I had to do what I had to do. So that's where the episode ends off, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? Look, I thought the episode was okay. It wasn't nothing really special other than the cliffhangers, other than the Joe and then that cliffhanger. But I thought it was just an okay episode, just an average episode, to be honest. So that's just kind of my thoughts. So if you guys like the episode, more power to you. I wasn't necessarily a fan of it, so yeah. But other than that, guys, I'm the guy for. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of The Flash, as well as hit that subscribe button to get more season 7 of The Flash and any other CWDC shows I upload to the channel. Other than that, guys, I'm the guy for. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.